Okay, we can finally put the memes to rest. There is actually some Enfield news. This is on the Reddit here, but we'll go over to the Bilibili to actually look at some more specifics here regarding the new Enfield beta test for mobile here, guys. So finally, we're getting a little bit of something here, which I'm incredibly excited about, because if you don't know already, I never really mention it, but I am incredibly excited for Enfield. It is it is my most anticipated gacha game and my most anticipated game at the moment. I never talk about it, just ask chat, never mention it. You wouldn't know that I was excited for the game. And we've kind of just been waiting, haven't we? Since the last test ended for PC, we've kind of just been sitting around on our hands kind of thinking, damn, bro, when's the next little bit of news? So hopefully with this now, we start to get some more news in general. But let's actually have a little look at the test itself, shall we? So if we pop over to Bilibili here, this is Google translated as well, so you bear with. There might be some mistranslations here, and it might not be 100% accurate, but hopefully it's as good as. And we'll get through this and we'll talk about it. You guys can let me know what you think in the comment section about all of this as well. And I'm genuinely excited, as I say. This is something, that doesn't necessarily relate to me, but it relates to Enfield, and oh my god, every little bit at the moment, I'm grasping onto it with both hands, so hopefully we get some more news on other fronts as well. But let's actually dive into this, and then shall we? Tomorrow's arc ending, hashtag tomorrow's arc end. Dear Administrator, after the retest, the project team has begun to promote multi-terminal adaptation and performance optimization in order to better listen to the administrator's suggestions and polish the mobile game experience. The retest mobile version of Arknights End is now open for test player recruitment, and some administrators are invited to participate in the test. The following is the specific instructions for this test recruitment. Recruitment questionnaire. Click the link to fill the recruitment questionnaire and submit it successfully, and you will have the opportunity to obtain test qualification. And then we've got a link to the questionnaire as well, which will pop open, and hopefully we can get some translation here as well, which we'll have a look at this as well, guys. Okay, but I want to move on to what else they've got posted here, and then we can go through the questionnaire as well, I guess, also. So the recruitment time from now until the midnight on May 11th 2025. Test information, test platform, mobile terminal, Android or iOS, test nature, small scale, non-charged file deletion, confidential test time. Qualified administrators will be notified later. Test qualification 1. The retest mobile version of Arknights End is a confidential test. You're going to need to sign an NDA for this one. Administrators who have obtained the test qualification must sign a confidentiality agreement before the test begins. 2. The mobile phone number and email address filled in by the administrator in the questionnaire will be used as a certificate for obtaining the test. So, obviously that makes sense. Interesting that people are going to be asked to sign an NDA. I wonder what the reasoning is for that, considering we've already had a test that was allowed to be public. People were giving out their feedback. We're allowed to tackle as much of it as possible, stream it, all that good stuff. So it's interesting that this is going to be under NDA. I don't know if this is more because it's a performance check more than anything for mobile, and that might mean lots of technical issues and hiccups and all that sort of stuff, and maybe they don't want that being the first experience for mobile if it looks rough and it feels rough, maybe. But it's very interesting to see that. So the this recruitment is only for players who are 18 years of age or older and have completed real name authentication. Minors and players who have not completed real name authentication will not be able to participate in this test. Test version description. The retest mobile version is an early version of Arknights The End. Mobile terminal is a test content is consistent with the retest. So obviously, again, this is probably to see if they get a stable version on mobile and let people break it, I guess, really. That's probably why they want the NDA, and they don't want it going out there that it might be looking like potential performance issues. The current model adaptation, performance optimization, and picture performance are still under development, and the actual experience does not represent the final online quality. During the test, there may be problems such as device heating, frame drops, and freezes. We will continue to optimize the mobile experience. Thanks again to the administrator for your continued attention and support for Arknights The End. And then we've got a little bit of a follow-up here, I believe. Hello, administrators. In the upcoming retest mobile version, we hope to verify the interactive design of the mobile terminal and the smoothness of the overall experience. So I'm sure they're trying to tweak controls and, again, performance. We will also pay special attention to the performance of system integration and functional modules on the mobile terminal. The mobile version that meets you for the first time will still require a lot of efforts to achieve the best performance. We hope that the administrators who participated in the test will be more tolerant and actively give feedback to help continuously improve the overall performance of the mobile terminal. So this says to me there, if obviously this is translated correctly, that it's early and that hopefully people will understand that and give feedback in relation to that rather than, I suppose, putting it out there for public consumption and everybody maybe just moaning that the game doesn't run right and not actually offering up potential feedback, because us gamers are very good at problems, not so great at solutions, as we said many times. This test is an early version. Okay, we've got to that. At the same time, it's also necessary. No, sorry. This test is an early version and does not represent the final online quality. At the same time, it's also necessary to emphasize that this is a test. This test is a confidential test. So, NDAs. Please do not spread test-related content. Thank you for your expectation and support for the retest mobile version. Okay, this is a technical test. The content is the same as the previous PC test. The main test is compatibility of the experience on different platforms. Okay, so obviously, it's to see how things run on mobile and probably to maybe better tweak the actual control schemes and stuff, obviously, for mobile as well. Let me just move my camera up out the way here, guys, shall we? So we can look here for the questionnaire. We've got the test description. Hello, Enmin. Thank you very much for participating in the recruitment of the mobile version of Arknights. And in order to better understand this test, please confirm the following information in advance. This test is a mobile test. You need to prepare a mobile device that can be used for gaming. For this test, the iOS system recommends the iPhone 12 Pro and above. An Android system recommends using models with the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 processor and above. I'm not exactly a tech foil when it comes to phones, but I believe that's a pretty good chipset in a mobile. Yeah, you'll have to let me know, you guys who game on mobile, is that on the more high end? I think it is, right? Or it's at least a pretty decent system. iPhone 12's like, we're a little bit past that now, but like, you'll have to let me know. Again, I could be totally wrong there, but I'm assuming at least mid to higher end chipsets in phones from that. The registration questionnaire will take 5 to 10 minutes to fill out. Please be patient and answer it. It's recommended to fill in the questionnaire in horizontal mode on mobile phones, computers for the best browsing experience. You can fill out the questionnaire repeatedly before submitting it, but it cannot be modified after submission. Please make sure that the information is accurate. The mobile phone number you filled in the questionnaire will be used as a notification receiving number and the test login account for this test. Makes sense. It is recommended to fill in the mobile phone number bound to the Hypergryph pass first. The bound account cannot be changed during the tests. In order to invite qualified administrators to participate in the test, this questionnaire may collect some of your personal information, including gender, age, typical stuff there. And this test will only be open to administrators who are 18 years or older. And then obviously we've got the test here asking for your age. This is asking for your system as well that you're on for your phone. What are the reasons why you signed up to participate in the retesting of the mobile version of Arknights The End? And then we've got a few typical things here. You're interested in the gameplay. You're interested in the overall artistic expression. You care about the operating experience of the mobile terminal, which I think is definitely one that might increase your chances there, guys, for that. Because I definitely feel like that's one of the reasons why I got into the initial test for Endfield on PC. Because I really think the specs were a big part. I think they wanted a wide range of specs to see how it runs for people, and especially some higher end stuff as well to see how well optimized it is for people who've got decent rigs as well, and probably some lower end stuff as well, maybe, and everything in between, I guess. Interested in the Arknights IP, interested in music, which probably a good thing to click, actually, considering they are a music company in this guide. Interested in the plot, worldview, and performance. I like playing games and I'm willing to try out and review new games. Interested in the character creation, personality, art, voice acting, etc. I'm curious about the end of the world and want to experience it. I don't know if I want to experience that necessarily, but I am very curious about Endfield and experience it. And then other, please specify. And then we've got, personally, what kind of gaming fun do you think fits your gaming pursuits unrelated to Arknights The End? And then we've got like excitement, challenging, growth strengthening, competition, social, story, plot, collection and completion, immersion fantasy, exploration high freedom, destruction, strategy, creating and design, which are all interesting there, really, aren't they? Because obviously we've saw some environmental destruction in Endfield. We know that there's a strategy in Arknights, and hopefully that's going to be implemented into Endfield in whatever way, but hopefully that becomes a thing that's really part of it as well. Creation, design, base building, of course, the exploration and high freedom. There's definitely exploration in the game, and a sort of a decent amount of autonomy and freedom, with it being a semi-open world map kind of based game. And then immersion fantasy, of course, that's does what it says on the tin. And then obviously collection and completion. If you're into gacha games, I think you're going to want to be part of that as well. Story and plot as well with Arknights, definitely. Social, that's an interesting one. Enjoy the process of cooperating and interacting with other players in the game. Now, I know this says it's unrelated to Arknights, but you've always got to look at these questions in context with the game as well, because they're asking these questions for a reason, right? And it makes me think, potentially then, what does this mean for future potential co-op sort of things and social aspects of Endfield? Because this game could really be fire with some co-op stuff for sure. Hopefully, we have some really cool dungeon runs, maybe. Whoever hasn't done it yet, Endfield, could you be the gacha game that really gives me some cool raids and dungeons in co-op? That would be fucking awesome. Competition as well, you know, enjoy competing with other players and improve your ranking. Is that the potential that maybe we see something like that? Because it's a weird question to ask for such a game, isn't it? Again, like these might just be questions just to kind of filter what sort of players they want to bring in and make sure they're getting the right kind of players. I always like to look at these questions and think, actually, what does that mean? How does that potentially relate to the future of the game? Are these things that maybe are reminding them, kind of getting a bit of a guesswork of what the player base thinks? Who knows, right? Who knows? Pursue intense game rhythm for excitement, and then obviously challenge. And then we've got, have you ever played the mobile game Arknights? I did after playing Endfield, actually. What are your experience habits on different gaming devices in the past year? Of course, asking if you're playing on mobile, PC, or on consoles as well. I'm assuming that's consoles, yeah. Host device, NSPS. I'm assuming that's PlayStation, Nintendo, right? I would imagine. Switch. What is your gender? Obviously. What is your occupation? What is your highest educational level? I guess that's just to make sure we ain't got smooth brains. Give you feedback, maybe. I don't know. Please fill in your permanent city. I think this is just typical, more stuff for maybe on CN side, where, you know, information collection is just a little bit more commonplace, isn't it? Based on your past gaming experience, through which channels do you generally first learn about the new game? And then obviously, you know, you've got all these different options here for where you've learned about the game. If you want to actively search for more information about the new game, which channels would you choose to get the information from? And then again, a bunch of stuff like that. When you decide to download a new game, which channels do you usually download it from? What game-related content do you prefer to pay attention to? Game music, of course that was in there, right? Of course that was in there. Real-life game information, official materials, game strategies, topic discussion, secondary video creation, game talk, peripheral, merchandise, live-action performances, graphics, and text. No particular preference. Of course they're getting the music in there. They've got to make sure they get the music in there, right? Which of the following games have you paid attention to recently? And then we've got GTA. We've got a bunch of different games here. A bunch of different games. They've got Black Beacon in there. Interesting. Honor of King's New World. Okay. We won't go through all of these, but we'll pick out the ones that I think maybe mean a little bit of something here. Honor of King's New World, Black Beacon as well. Borderlands, interesting. Okay, that's an interesting one. Final Fantasy 14 Crystal Worlds, Blue Star Travel Ballad. Is that Star Resonance, that? Is that Star Resonance? I'm not too sure. Besides playing games, what other hobbies do you have? And then obviously a bunch of different stuff here, which doesn't really mean anything. Please fill in your contact information. Please fill in your contact information, and a bunch more contact information there in order to better collect. Yeah, okay. So that's just potentially maybe reaching out, the devs reaching out to you, I guess. So yeah, there you go, guys. This is, you know, for me, it's not going to affect me because I'm not going to be able to access it because I think this is specifically for CN. But it's a step forward, right, guys? It's a step forward. This is obviously, I'm thinking maybe it's the same build of the game, but it's obviously in a bit of an earlier state in regards to this is to see where they're at for performance, where they might need to tweak controls, all that sort of stuff for the player base, because obviously it's a totally different situation for mobile. Being an action game as well, it needs to have a good control scheme, right? It definitely needs to have a good control scheme. And I'll be interested to see when we do start to get news on the mobile version of the game, actually, and how it actually plays as well. So yeah, it seems like the major part of these is to see how it runs, right? To see how it's performing on devices and how devices are reacting to this particular build of the game as well. So it kind of makes sense, I guess, that there's an NDA, because at first I was like, NDA? Why would there be an NDA when we've already had a public build of the game? But of course, end of the day, first impressions are very important, right? And if first impressions of a game are really badly optimized versions of a game, that does kind of stick with a lot of people. There is a lot of people willing to understand its early versions and things get better. There's a lot of people out there that don't, So I think it probably is smart to make it a closed test, really get some feedback, tweak things, and then maybe potentially, along if they do get another beta for PC, have a beta for PC and mobile go out at the same time and see how it goes publicly and get a bunch more people into it with a bunch of different devices as well to see how the game actually runs as well. So it'd be really interesting to see what comes of this news, guys. But yes, there is going to be an Arknights Endfield beta for phone, which again, it's just exciting that we've finally got a little bit of news, guys, right? Okay, because for a while I've been checking back in the r/Enfield and r/Arknights Enfield Reddits, and it's pretty much the same thing every day. There is no news. We've got news. So I'm actually really excited about this. As I say, I'm incredibly excited and very much looking forward to this game. So this is a good thing, guys. This is a good thing. So I'll be very much interested to see after the fact of what the deal is, right? What the deal is going forward. But we won't know too much because obviously NDA. But hopefully, we hear something else soon. Maybe this is the start of some kind of trickle. Maybe a few drips and drops here and there of news from Hypergryph. I do hope so, because I'm starving out here, chat. I'm starving out here. I'll take anything at the minute. I'm desperate for it because, oh man, just take me back to the beta, man. It was so much fun. I can't wait for this game. We are going to go hard into this game, chat. We are going to go so hard into this game. I'm really looking forward to it. So yeah, guys, let me know what you think in the comment section. Beta for Endfield for mobile soon. NDA though, so we're not going to get to see anything, but at least the ball's starting to roll now, right? The ball's starting to roll. Hopefully, this means that the launch is on the horizon. I don't think it's going to be this year now. This makes me think it's less likely to be this year, but at the same time, man, I'd love it to be. I'd love it to be. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think in the comment section. Drop a like on the video if you've enjoyed it, and I will see you all in the next one, and hopefully we've got some more Endfield news very, very soon. I'll catch you all later, guys. Not, I nearly said something else then.